When it's time for bed, do you ever wonder how does sleep work? You know how your brain goes from wide awake to fast asleep in just a few minutes? Well, tonight, we're going to find out exactly that. Once upon a time, deep in the brain, there was a little creature named Tuck. Tuck was in charge of helping people fall asleep. He had a very important job. Every night when it got dark, Tuck would start to get sleepy. When he got sleepy, he would start to snooze. But before he could drift off to dreamland, he had to make sure that his two best friends were ready for bed too. The first friend was a little blue bird named Whir. Whir controlled all the awake parts of the brain. If Whir wasn't ready to go to sleep, then the brain wouldn't shut down properly, and the person would stay awake. So Tuck had to make sure Whir was sleepy before he could go to bed. Tuck's other best friend was a little green monster named Grump. Grump lived in the brainstem, which is right above your spinal cord. Grump controlled all the sleepy parts of the brain. So if Grump wasn't awake, then Tuck couldn't take over and make the person sleepy either. So first, Tuck would go to see Whir, and Whir would tell Tuck how the day went. All the things that happened during the day kept the brain active and awake. So if there was lots of activity, then Whir was very tired and ready for bed. But if there wasn't much activity during the day, then Whir wasn't very tired at all. After Whir told Tuck all about his day, he would give Tuck a little push on his sleepy bird belly. That push was like a wave that sent signals to all the awake parts of the brain, telling them it was time to go to sleep. Then after giving Tuck that push, Whir would go to his nest and close his eyes. Now that Whir was taken care of, Tuck knew it was time to wake up Grump so they could both go to sleep. But Grump was a very grumpy monster, especially in the morning. So first Tuck had to do something to make him feel better. Tuck would give Grump a big hug and a kiss on the cheek and tell him all the nice things he did during the day. This always cheered Grump up and made him feel better about himself. And once Grump was feeling super happy and energized, Tuck would tickle him until he fell asleep. Then Tuck would take over and start making the whole brain sleepy. He would send signals to all the sleepy parts of the brain, telling them to start shutting down. Now sometimes Tuck had to work really hard to make the brain go to sleep. For example, if the person drank caffeine, which is a chemical found in coffee and soda, then it would make Tuck's job harder because caffeine makes the brain less sleepy. Or if the person ate a big meal right before bed, Tuck had to work even harder to make them sleepy. But most of the time, Tuck's job was pretty easy. After he took over the brain, he would give Grump another big hug and kiss on the cheek, and then he would both go to sleep. They would sleep until the sun came up, at which point Tuck would wake up and give Whir a little poke to wake him up too. And then the whole cycle would start again. So next time you're getting ready for bed, remember to thank Tuck, Whir, and Grump for helping you fall asleep. Remember, no matter how hard Tuck has to work, he will always make sure you get a good night's sleep so you can grow big and strong and be your best self. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe so you never miss an awesome educational animation. See you next time.